Thank you for joining us on this Thursday morning. Got some good news and some bad news to kick things off today. What would you like first there, Mahoney?
Dave, why don't we start off today's show with some bad news?
Yeah, some bad news. The hikers are at it again.
Oh, no.
8 hikers were stranded near the Devil's Bridge. That's a trail in Sedona. Because of snow. The snow, yeah. So the snowfall left them stranded. The group, which included a woman and her 4 children.
Can we just 1 second? I need to Google the Devil's Bridge because is that like the Devil's Eiffel Tower?
That's a little different. No, that's different. Yeah.
I don't like it whenever people name things dramatically like that, though, Mahoney. Whenever you're Googling this for us, for the class, will you please see if the Devil's Bridge is just like a bridge?
So it's up there in Sedona. It's beautiful. I mean, like, that's definitely like very, very pretty. There's Angel's Landing in Zion. I've been to, but the Devil's Bridge does sound a little
dramatic. It sounds like a
threesome-y.
Sounds like a hellscape.
Threesome-y.
See, look, I mean, there's like, if you look at this, Audrey, there's it's you fall off that. That's not fun.
Why would you take your children there, Dave Farah?
Well, so that's a good question. So this group, again, the woman and her 4 children, became lost after the snow covered the trail and one of the children wandered off without a phone. What are we doing? So as the search and rescue teams from the sheriff's office began their efforts, another group of hikers also reported being lost, bringing the total number of stranded individuals to 8. So it was cold and wet, and all the hikers were thankfully found uninjured and safely escorted back to the trail by 8 p.m. But, getting dark, pretty damn dark.
Oh, you don't want to be out there at dark. Nah, man. Like, that's...
Sheriff came out, praised the efforts of the search and rescue volunteers, but good Lord, what are you doing going hiking in the snow with a child that is prone to wander off?
And they don't have, you're not geotagging them. You're not tracking them.
You don't have an Apple tag on them or something.
Like I'm straight up.
Your kids?
I'm taking a low jack from the early 90s and slapping it on that kid.
No kidding.
Like, man, we are finding you if we're going, like, also, like,
what are we doing hiking?
Like, well, that deep. Like, let's go walk something that's like a paved trail near wilderness.
Some people are adventurous with their children, which I'm not anti that. But I mean, I think that if you are in a place that's completely snowy and it's not normally maybe like that, which I don't know, maybe this place gets snowy.
It's Sedona.
I know nothing about the Devil's Terrace or whatever it's called. Devil's Balcony.
The Devil's Bridge.
The Devil's Bridge.
That's where you arch your back just right.
So gross.
But yeah, it's not great.
And Audrey, and again, we're not talking about people who are qualified to take their kids out.
Right.
You have to call the authorities in. You have let us know that you do not know what you are doing.
I like that the sheriff praised the efforts of the search and rescue volunteers. What do you mean that there's people that are just like sitting around waiting for the call because they have volunteered to go look for the hikers that are lost in the snow?
Well, some of them are probably like accountants or something, and they got to like leave their day job because they like signed up for this. They signed up for this volunteerism.
Same people
thinking it would never actually happen. But then we got this lady, Jan, with her 4 kids or whatever her name is.
It's definitely Jan.
The missing hiker volunteers, same people who love to golf and or ice fish. You know, they just want to spend as much time away from their own families trying to find somebody else's family.
Any way to get away, yeah. So some good news today as well. A major drug bust here in the Valley this week. The result was a seizure of $3.4 million worth of illegal drugs, over 1,600 pounds of meth, 47 pounds of fentanyl powder, 161 pounds of fentanyl pills. So the operation carried out by the Arizona Financial Crimes Task Force with assistance from the DEA followed a traffic stop that uncovered 50 pounds of meth. The drugs, which represent a pretty significant threat, I would say, when you're talking about,
the fent. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, almost over 200 pounds of pills and powder and fent.
I mean, 1,600 pounds of meth, though, is still only like, again, I've never bought meth.
Fent is like, or not fent, like meth is just chemicals. Like, I feel like it just is always a weird, different concoction. So like, that's like under the counter kitchen stuff. So it can't be too expensive.
But still,
fentanyl is probably the high ticket item on there.
Either way, I mean, 1,600 pounds, quite a bit, but $3.4 million in total in this bust. So
that's amazing.
Pretty good job, guys.
We don't hear about much anymore. We don't hear much about cocaine busts anymore.
Well, because it all got washed up on the shores of Florida.
Yeah, but that's not even a bust. That's like somebody found it. Like that doesn't,
accidental.
To me, that doesn't count as a bust. That's like, whoops, we found it because somebody lost it. It fell overboard.
If you found all of that cocaine in Florida just floating on the beach.
Never telling a soul.
I mean, you can pick up a brick or two.
Yeah, just be like, I was
I'm taking it all. like I'm getting
My ass
tested.
got fatter
and then,
that day.
And then suddenly real skinny. Yes. Cocaine. Nature's Ozempic.
Facts.
All right. You're listening for